She's a new mom now, but when Rhea Westover was a baby, her mom bought her some shares in a toy company. The family lost track of them until CBC News found Westover's name on a Quebec government database listing various unclaimed assets. It paid out $550.
Isn't a huge sum of money, but it's not nothing, especially when you need to buy 1 million clothes and diapers and everything else.
Revenue Quebec says it has nearly $300 million waiting to be found on a publicly searchable database of unclaimed assets. BC and Alberta have similar databases. But if you live anywhere else in this country, you're largely out of luck.
I call it Canada's under-the-radar economic action plan in waiting.
Brenda Potter-Phelan is an accountant who encourages her clients to share financial information with family members. She says too often people forget details in old age or die suddenly, leaving assets unclaimed. She says it can often amount to thousands of dollars.
It can make a huge difference to consumers and families if that legislation got put in place across the country, and it was consistent.
This check's for $40,581.50.
The situation in the United States couldn't be more different. Companies have to remit unclaimed assets to the state or face massive penalties. States then aggressively try to find the owners, even taking out ads to let people know. Why? Because if after a time they can't find you, the state gets to use the money. It's become one of the leading sources of revenue for the state of California.
It's a win for consumers because they have a place to look for their funds. It's a win for the governments because it provides cash.
So why isn't it the norm in Canada? PEI had legislation but told us it repealed it because it was too expensive to maintain. Ontario has twice moved toward legislation, then backed away, telling CBC News the government is focused on other priorities.
What do I do? Well, I got to start.
Darren Jack helps his clients find unclaimed assets. He sat in on Ontario government consultations in 2013 and believes the real reason is pushback from financial and insurance companies that don't want to cough up the money if they don't have to.
If there's no obligation for them to report unclaimed property, they don't report it. They get to keep it. They get to keep it on their balance sheet.
And in Ontario alone, that money is estimated at $1 billion or more, meaning many Canadians may continue to, in fact, be richer than they think, but unlikely to ever find out. Diana Swain, CBC News, Toronto.